This week's Nut Job of the Week is Ted Nugent. Ted's article this week in the Washington Times is uneducated, recycled GOP talking points dribble that doesn't even have a shred of truth in it. But I'm sure Ted Nugent believes it anyway because he drinks his own Kool-Aid. So let's break down a portion of it. Ted starts, "The three sacred entitlement cows in the room that no politician wants to poke are Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid." He's already wrong. One sentence in and he's factually incorrect. An overwhelming majority of politicians in both parties, all Republicans and most Democrats, not only want to cut entitlements, they've proposed bills to do just that. Every Republican proposal either guts these programs or wants to privatize them and make them a voucher system, and the only Democratic plan on the table cuts entitlements by $600 billion. Ted continues, "A blinding statement of the obvious is that we are never going to get our financial house in order until these sacred entitlement cows are not only poked, but slaughtered. Until the slaughter is over, everything else is just taxation window dressing." Again, he's flat out wrong. Notice how he doesn't give any numbers. Social Security has a $2.7 trillion surplus. The payroll tax, which funds the Social Security Trust Fund, has been running at a surplus for years. Only by the year 2038 will Social Security start paying out 75% of its benefits, and all you need to do to fix it is raise the $106,000 cap that would fund it as far as the eye can see. So, in other words, if Kobe Bryant and Bill Gates pay the same 6% in payroll tax as the school teacher does, it's fixed. Medicare is fully funded until 2024, and after that it pays out 87% of its benefits. And again, a minor tweaking could protect the guaranteed benefit program. And the programs are called entitlements because you're entitled to them. You paid into the program your whole life. You're just getting what you're owed. If they cut your future benefits, they'll be robbing you of thousands of dollars. Ted goes on, "Let's truly spread the pain around and raise taxes on everyone, including the nearly 50% of Americans who pay zero federal income taxes. Those Americans need to have some skin in the game too. I recommend at least a 5% federal income tax bracket for them. The insane free ride needs to end." This is a common Republican talking point. 50% of the U.S. are moochers. They usually also believe that all the so-called moochers are Democrats as well. So this point is actually wrong in two ways. Number one, only one red state is a net payer of tax money. That's Texas, where there are 16 blue states that are net payers. So if anything, the moochers are the Republicans. And number two, nobody is actually a moocher. The only people who pay no federal income tax pay state tax, sales tax, local tax, property tax, and on and on. The demographics of these people, if Nugent bothered to look it up, funny, I know, Nugent researching, are senior citizens, veterans, and members of the working poor. So these are people who simply can't afford to pay any more taxes. They're not lazy welfare queens like Nugent thinks. The corporations are actually welfare queens. Let's also stop the insanity, Nugent continues, by suspending the right to vote of any American who is on welfare. Once they get off welfare and are self-sustaining, they get their right to vote restored. No American on welfare should have the right to vote for tax increases on those Americans who are working and paying taxes to support them. That's insane. It shouldn't take a Motown guitar slayer to come up with these common sense bargaining chips before taxes are raised on the producers, which will further choke the economy. How about it, GOP? So it's cute and funny how Nugent, when it comes to the Second Amendment, oh my God, take your hands off, it's set in stone, nobody's allowed to touch it, you have a right to it, you have a right to your guns, you can massage your guns and cuddle with your guns. But then when it comes to equal protection under the law, one man, one vote, Constitution, Constitution, Smonstitution, take that thing away, these people aren't allowed to vote. And of course he had to throw in that, oh, he has common sense. The last thing he has is common sense. His opinions are all uneducated. They're not based in anything but false narratives and stereotypes and misguided interpretations. So Ted Nugent gets this week's Nut Job of the Week.